Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be showing you all the books that I wish I could reread again. This is going to be part one, so if you would like a second part, let me know in the comments below and I'll happily do a second part for you guys. But I don't want to show you all of them in one video because we will be here for a very long time. So I thought, you know what, I'll just show you guys some. So I've got a few here that I'm going to be showing you guys. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Let's just get right on into this video. So the first book that I wish I could reread again is Burnout by Coralie June. So this book I read, it's gotta be like 2 years ago now, or is it just over a year? It's been quite a while. So this was, I want to say, about the second book I read. It was like right at my, like when I started to become like a bookworm. So if I remember the order correctly, I read like the after series, which is what got me into reading. Then I read Layla by Colleen Hoover, and then I read this. I could be wrong, I could be mistaken. Oh, is this then Layla? But it was like right at the start. So this, I don't even remember much that happened in this, if I'm being honest. I remember that it is a brother's best friend and a bit of teacher student. That's all I remember, and that's why I picked it up. Let me see. So I'm gonna read some of the back, maybe, because I honestly don't even remember. Maybe if we met at another time, another life, he could have been mine. Maybe if I were older, maybe if he wasn't my brother's best friend, maybe if he wasn't my teacher, maybe. Having my dirty little secret living down the hall had me obsessing over alternate endings and happily ever afters. I'd never wanted someone so badly, but his hot and cold behaviour was giving me emotional whiplash in the classroom. He practically ignored me, but here in my brother's loft, it felt like we were a thick rubber band pulled so tight we'd snap. Falling for Decker Harris made me realise that life wasn't as serendipitous. I'm so sorry I said that wrong. Very mouthful. As everyone liked to think, we weren't just a collection of maybes thrust into the world with hope and good intentions. Everything started with a choice, and somewhere between grief and redemption, I chose to make him mine. So yeah, that's what that is about. Like I said, I don't even remember much about it. There's some scenes in my head where I'm like, did that happen in this or in like another book? It's very confusing, but yeah. So that's the first one. The next one, I tried to reread this recently, but I just wasn't in like the teacher-student mood, so that gives you an idea of what it is. And that is Bad Teacher by Clarissa Wilde. I actually read this one not recently, it was sometime last year, and it was the first book I ever read in one whole day, and I was like so proud of myself. I was like, I finally read a book in one whole day. I mean, it wasn't that special because it is quite a short book and the writing is very spread out, but yeah, I was very proud of myself. Again, I don't even remember what this one is about much, but all I know is about it's Thomas and what's her name, Haley. It was about Thomas and Haley, and Thomas and Haley are obviously teacher and student, and Thomas was in like a bar thing, and that's how they met, and they had spent one night together, and it was like under the condition of no names and no phone numbers, so they didn't know who they are. And then Haley went into school the next day, and there he was as her teacher. So that's the plot of it. It was a very interesting book, and that is why I was able to read it in one night. But yeah, so I would love to reread that again. I don't know when. It probably be a while, but next book I wish I could reread again. I reread this one recently, but I can reread this book over and over again and possibly not get bored. And that is Unconditional by QB Tyler. As you can tell, I need to buy a new copy because it's very damaged. And apparently I added some sticky notes in here. I think I annotated it a little bit, which I don't remember doing. And it was recently. Oh, it was like at some interesting bits that I would like to just flip back at. Yes. Oh, so like this tab is when Aria found out that they was dating, about their relationship. How interesting. I'd love to reread this again and actually tab like the whole book, because I want to buy the hardcover, but I also want to buy another one of these because I have kind of like really damaged this one. But it's okay. So yeah, if you don't know what this is about, it's about Cal and Maddie, but her name's Madeline, but Maddie and Cal is a police officer, and he was obviously like working, and then he found this little girl in a closet, and he decided to become her guardian. I'm saying this in the shortest way possible. Decided to become her guardian, and then 10 years later, Maddie's now 18, and she is like, has always had a crush on Cal, but it's been like an innocent, like a growing up crush. But then Cal starts to have feelings for Maddie, but is like, no, it's wrong, I'm her guardian, I've brought her up, like, but then eventually we all know what happens. So that's the short version. I could talk about this book all day. So if you couldn't guess, it is a guardian romance. So if you find that a bit weird, or it's just not your thing, or whatever, I don't suggest that you read it, but please do, because it's my favourite book and I love it. So the next one is Love Unexpected by QB Tyler. This one is my second favourite book from QB Tyler. I read this quite a while ago, if I'm being truly honest with you, so I don't remember every detail, but from what I remember, this is a stepfather-stepdaughter romance, and I don't even remember their names. It's Dominique and Astasia. So Dominique is the principal of the school, I believe, so it does also have a bit of a teacher-student in it as well. But Dominique is the principal. I think he was a principal. I'm just going to stick with that. But is the principal of the school. And Stasia, like when she was younger, saw him in the school and had a crush on him straight away. But then he started going out with her mother. And then, so it goes from years ahead. And her mother unfortunately passes away. And so they are grieving together. And because they're grieving together, they like get closer, they bond, and stuff happens. So that's that book. That's all I remember. But I did read this on my Kindle, so this is like a brand new copy that I've never used. So I would like to reread it, but I remember like enjoying it a lot. So, and I've only read this once. The next one I would like to reread is, and I read this like so recently, I have a vlog of me reading it. So that is Hate Notes by Beaker Lind and Penelope Ward. I didn't think that I would enjoy this as much as I did, if I'm being truly honest, because from like what I read of what it was about, I was like, that doesn't seem like my thing. But because it was from Beaker and Penelope Ward, I read it anyway, because I always enjoy their writing separately and together. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And wow, this book, if you want to know all my thoughts, go and check out the vlog that I did of this. But this is basically, I forgot their names. I'm not very good with people's names in books, so I apologise. Reed and Charlotte, that's it. So this is about Reed and Charlotte, and Charlotte finds a blue note in a wedding dress, and she tries to find the person that put that note in the wedding dress, because she thought it was like such a romantic thing, and who'd want to get rid of a dress like this. And she finds a person, and she ends up working where he works, and it's all good stuff. So I highly recommend that you give this a go. It is so good, and I would love to reread it. Not soon, because I've only recently read it like a couple of weeks ago, but I do want to reread it. Then the next one I would like to reread is Room Hate by Penelope Ward. This I read a couple of months ago, so again it won't be a recent reread, but I do really want to read it. I enjoyed this so much. Now, I can't remember their names. This is about Justin and Amelia. I don't physically remember. I want to give you like a good synopsis, so I'm just going to read the back to you guys. Sharing a summer house with a hot as hell roommate should be a dream come true, right? Not when it's Justin, the only person I'd ever loved, who now hates me. When my grandmother died and left me half of the house on Aquaneck island, there was a catch. The other half would go to the boy she helped raise, the same boy who turned into the teenager whose heart I broke years ago, the same teenager who's now a man with a hard body and a hard personality to match. I hadn't seen him in years, and now we're living together because neither one of us is willing to give up the house. The worst part, he didn't come alone. I'd soon realise there's a thin line between love and hate. I could see through that smug smile beneath it all. The boy is still there. So is our connection. The problem is, now that I can't have Justin, I've never wanted him more. So yeah, very, very interesting. The next one I want to reread. Again, I tried to reread this one recently. It just wasn't the time. I just wasn't in this like genre mood. But that is Sweet Temptation by Cora Riley. This is a mafia book. I read this one like ages ago. This was the first mafia book I ever read, and I don't regret it. So this is about Cassio and Julia, and Cassio is looking for a mother and a wife. A mother for his children and a wife. And so he chooses Julia. Julia is 18 years old, so that this is an age gap as well. And they obviously like get married and stuff, and she moves in with him, and she starts looking after his children and stuff like that while he is like working and things. And obviously they're not a big fan of each other at first, but then eventually a connection starts to kindle, and yeah, it's just a very, very good book. Then the last one I want to reread, I reread this one recently as well. I think it was sometime in March, and wow, this is like one of my favourite books, Unconditional, and this one is just amazing, and that is Him by L.L. Ash. This book is amazing. Like, this is like kind of like Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. So this is such a good book. I want to buy another copy of this book as well, so I can annotate this one. Maybe I should annotate it. Anyway, so it's about Blake and Bay, and Bay, her father lost his job, so she needs some place to stay for when she goes to college, because her father was gonna, buy her a place, rent it out, like, whatever. But obviously, because he's lost his job, he's got no money. So, Bay's friend, Georgia, says, "Why don't you stay with me and my dad? It's just us." And so, obviously, Bay takes her up on the offer. And Blake is fine with it. So then, something happens, which I don't want to ruin. And so, stuff happens. And then a connection starts to kindle with Blake and Bay. Now, their names are very similar, so I find it a tongue twister to say their names together. But this is just such a good book, and I highly, highly recommend you read it, because this is not a popular book at all, and I don't know why. It's just so good, and I'm so thankful that I found it. So, yeah, that is the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. It's free, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye!